ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतार वरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः।
Dear friends, welcome back to the study of the Bhagavad Gita, and we were repeating the 7th chapter, and we had completed the study of the 19th shloka, 19th verse of the chapter. Now, from the 16th to 19th, these 4 shlokas has a special meaning for people like us who wants to start a spiritual life and go ahead with it. So, in these 4 shlokas, Sri Krishna starts from absolutely the level with which we live in this world. And then step by step he says how we should go ahead. And finally, what is the last stage of spiritual experience that a human can achieve in this very life? Please be very sure, very practical. It is not a woolly-headed idea. It is not a fairy tale. We humans, in our scriptures, which is said, being born as a human is a deva durlabha janma. This birth of being born a human is much, much, much better than being born as a god, as a devata, the ancillary concepts of various forms of gods. He says, much better than that. Why? You become a deva when you cast off this gross body, and because of the virtuous nature of your life, you acquire enormous amount of virtue and punya, and you enjoy the results of that virtuous life in your subtle body. That is the concept of miniature devas and devis. The scriptures say they are there to enjoy the results of their good deeds, and when they have utilized it, when the bank balance is zero, you come back to square and back again to work out your destiny. So this continues to go. Whereas a human being like you and me and everybody else, we have within ourselves the innate capacity of manifesting the divinity already within us, and in this human body we become one with the God, Parameshwara, Ishvara, and we enjoy oneness with God as long as this body exists. This is not given to any biological creature or any celestial being known as devatas or devas. That is why Manushya Janma is Deva Durlabha Janma. That is, even the gods and goddesses, they envy a human, because in a human the possibility is there to manifest the divinity already within him or in her. And the other aspect is, and what is the purpose of this Manushya Jivana, this human body? The purpose is only one. Jivana Mukti Sukha Prapti Hetave Janmadaranam. Jivana Mukti. You are alive in this body-mind complex. This body is there, but you know I am one with the divine. and through this body you manifest the aspects of divinity. And you enjoy that oneness with the divine, either from dualistic point of view, seeing your Ishtadeva everywhere, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu displayed, Jatra Jatra Netra Pade, Tatra Tatra Krishna Spuri. Wherever my eyes fall, whatever you may see as diversity, I know it is my Krishna who is manifesting himself there. And if you're a Dvaita Sadhaka, the result of your achievement is related to the type of sadhana that you do. If you enjoy the sweetness of sugar, then you would say, I don't want to be sugar. I would like to enjoy the taste of sweetness of sugar. If I become one with sugar, what is that? I don't experience anything. No. I would like to enjoy the taste of sugar. I would like to enjoy interacting with my Ishtadeva everywhere. So all the diversity is there. But I am totally focused, saturated with the awareness of my presence of Ishtadeva. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Jatra Jatra Netra Pade, wherever my eyes happen to fall, Tatra Tatra, there and then. Krishna Spuri, I don't see that form. I see the form of my Holy Mother. I see the form of Sri Ramakrishna. I see the form of my Ishtadeva. That is Dvaita Sadhana. If your sadhana is of that type, this will be the resultant, result of the pursuit. And if you are only aware of the presence, the absolute Sat Sarup, Chit Sarup, Ananda Sarup Atma, if you are aware of that, then what happens? Deha Abhimane Galite or Deha Abhimane Galite. When the identity with my body complex has totally evaporated, there is no trace of that identity. So how do I exist? Abhete Paramatmani. I have identified myself with that absolute known as Paramatman. Yatra yatra mano yati, wherever I allow my mind to go, tatra tatra param padam drishyate. There and there I am aware of the presence of the Absolute. He is here, He is everywhere, and I am interacting with Him. These are the final stages. These 4 shlokas, they start from where you are. And then the next shloka, 17th, 18th, 19th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. It keeps on upgrading your thinking. And what is the last final grade? Vasudevam sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlava. Vasudeva, that is Vasudeva Putra, Vasudeva Krishna. I have concentrated my mind on the awareness of presence of that divine in the form of Krishna. And I see and interact with Krishna all the time. Such a person is very, very rarely available in human society. Vasudevam sarvamiti, a person who sees the divine form everywhere. Sa Mahatma, He is a great, great noble soul. Why? Because while living in human body, he has identified himself with the divine. Such species, such examples are very, very rare to find. With this he completes the 19th shloka. Now, dears, pardon me. Now, dears, I would rather spare a little time in revising these 4 shlokas in a composite manner. How does he start? He says, look, in the world, there are 4 types of people who have some interaction with me. They all know I exist, I am. The humans know God is there. But they are so busy, they have no time for God. It's but natural, normal. We are so busy, we hardly remember Him. We have to make efforts to remember Him. But I am busy with the world, and because of forces of circumstances, I am in such a situation, I find no way out. What do? Spontaneously I say, oh God, help me out, please. I'm in a jam, I'm in a fix, I'm in soup. Please help me out. It's just normal. So, that group of people, they know I exist, but they are busy elsewhere in this world. And when they are in a great difficulty, unsolvable problems, then they remember me and they say, God can help me out. So he accepts my presence wholeheartedly and he prays to me, oh God, please help me out. This is one type of people. They are noble at heart because they admit the presence of God or existence of God. The measure of nobility is admission of the presence of the divine, existence of the divine. Then the next, Jigyashu, an inquirer. He wants to inquire. The scriptures say, my Guru says, all other saints and seers says, God is. I don't find him anywhere. Neither can I prove his existence in a laboratory seen through electronic microscope. God cannot be seen. But I said God is. So let me make an honest, intellectual, rational, based on robust, commonsensical attitude to find out whether God is or not. So, hypothetically, I accept God is. And then I try to find out ways and means, how can I have a rock-solid conviction by my experiencing God is. This is my journey. This is my inquiry. And I am an inquirer. And I'd like to have an answer to my inquiry. And I start my journey within myself. Jigyashu. They are also noble people, because they have come a step forward, because they don't want to be a jam to remember me. They willfully, with full cognizance, with full awareness, they want to find out as a research scientist, God is or God is not. I'd like to find it out. They are a wee bit better than the previous one. But the highest common factor, Udara, they are noble at heart. Why? Because they admit presence of God, existence of God. Third is Artharthi. I know God is the creator, preserver, and the destroyer of this universe. At His will the world moves. There is nothing that He cannot do. I live in this world and I am seized with a desire. I'd like to have it. And I find, though I am carried away by my intense desire, which pushes out all my rationality, my common sense, my thinking what is good, what is bad, I am seized with that idea. I must have it. Then I know it is impossible to have it. So what do? Oh God, Lord, I know whatever you will, it happens. Please kindly will it for me. Artharthi. I am expecting a reward from God. I am expecting a response in the positive manner from God, and I pray with my heart and soul. Please God help me. Please God give me this. Please God give me this. Please God. What is it? Your conviction that God is all permeating, all pervading, and if God wills it, it happens. You have gone so far. Your awareness that God exists has gone so far. Artha, Jigyashu, Artharthi. It is being graded. And finally he says, Jnani. You do not become a Jnani overnight. Jnani means Jnanavana, one who has acquired that knowledge. What is the end result of that knowledge? He has experienced. He is one with God. Me and my Father in heaven are one. That is what Son of God says. See how he evolved. When he was a child or a boy, he introduced himself. My father is Joseph the carpenter and my mother is Mary. That is what it is. So he grew in his awareness, and he came to the conclusion, oh, there is one Father, Father in heaven, Father to the whole world. And then we are made in the image of my Father in heaven. So I must be one with my Father in heaven. So me and my Father in heaven are one, not physically but spiritually. Jnani is a person who is aware, who has experienced oneness with God. These are the 4 stages. Then we find that having explained it, he says that, look, I have a special word for the Jnani. From the grammatical point of view, linguistic point of view, a knower of something is a knower. I know you are sitting here. I know there is a chair. I'm a knower. What type of a knowledge that so-called Jnani that I say is an excellent of the 4, what type of knowledge does he have? What is the quantum of his understanding? It doesn't happen overnight. You are not born with it. You have to cultivate with it and you have to reach that height. Absolutely commonsensical, practical. How do I reach that height if I don't know what that height is? Look at the sequence of thinking developed in the Gita. So, in the 17th shloka, he is describing who is a jnani. Information, who is a jnani. Education, if you want to be a jnani, you make up your mind. I will educate you. Now this is the instruction from an ordinary artha or a jigyashu or an artharthi, how you can become a jnani. Listen to me on the 17th shloka. What is that? He is now describing the attitude of a jnani. Why is he describing? I have a catch. If I want to become a jnani, I will go accordingly. I will measure my steps accordingly and I'll move forward. I'll walk in that way. I'll walk that walk. So let us read the 17th shloka quickly. Please don't count about your progress as far as how many shlokas have you read. Please try to assimilate these man-making, character-building ideas which will help you to be one with God. Concentrate on that, not on the number of shlokas you are reading. Tesham jnani nityajukta eka bhaktir vishishyate. Of those four categories that I mentioned before, what are those four categories? Artha, jigyashu, artharthi, jnani. I know who an artha is. I have gone through that phase myself. I have experienced what an artha is. I am a jigyashu. I would really like to know whether God exists or not. Artharthi, I know God if He wills it. Impossible is it possible. So I want this. Let me pray to God. Please will it for me so that I can get this done. Artharthi, now he comes to the last chapter. Jnani. Eka bhakti vishishyate. Jnani tu nityajukta. Eka bhakti vishishyate. This is the excellent characteristic, unique characteristic of a jnani purusha. Whether in a female form or a male form is immaterial, a human. He falls under the category of jnani, knower of self, knower of me, who nitya jukta eka bhakti vishishyate. The unique characteristic, the separate uniqueness apart from the other three. The highest common factor is all they believe in my existence. I am. God exists. That is the characteristic. That is why they are udara sarva evete. They are all general, very, very noble people. Nobility is measured by that unity of idea. One expresses it when he is in dire distress. One expresses it when his inquiring attitude is at the top. The third is extremely desirous. Whereas the fourth is, he is not victim of these three attitudes. He is nitya jukta. He is always in communion with me. He never forgets that I am existing. Never forgets. Eka nitya jukta is in constant communion with the awareness of my presence. Nitya jukta. He is constantly aware of my presence within him and outside him. That is his unique character. Of the four, why is Jnani unique? Because it is Nitya Yukta, it is Eka Bhakti. They are two interrelated qualities. Nitya Yukta. Nitya means ever, without any let, without any hindrance, without any interruption, without any break in awareness. Constantly aware, he is. How do you equate it? I say so many isnesses around me. How do I do that? The secret is Eka Bhakti. He knows I reside in him and he is aware of my presence in him. I am. That is, in reality, he is. I am aware of him. Like a stupid ass, I separate myself from him and I say, I am, and he is. Like in cloud nine. Don't make that mistake. What I know as I am, it is he is. And where is it to be found? In me. Where are you roaming around the whole world? Finding me, where am I? I am neither in the caves or in the forests or in the dales. I reside in you, my dear child. Find me within you. Mujhko kahan dhudo bande? Main to tera saath hu. It's an excellent music in India. Where are you looking after, my dear child? I am in you, with you all the time. Jnani is that person who has cultivated this habit. The Jigyashu has matured. Oh, this is the secret. What I know as I am, and this awareness of my amness never leaves me. It is always there. And that amness is his presence. What a pity! I never knew that. So, what I know as I am, in reality, it is he is. And where is it to be found? Don't go and looking around everywhere, my dear. Look within yourself. What you know as I am is nothing else but I am. Your I is not separated from me. Jivatma and Purnatma, they are the same. Jiva and Atma is the same. Jiva is a qualification because I have my separateness. That separateness has to disappear. How can it disappear? Eka Bhakti. One pointed. The arrow points to the target, goes into the target, and the tip of the arrow dissolves itself into the target. It doesn't have separate existence anymore. Jiva Atma has pierced the Atma, and it is there. Purnatma, yes sir. Paramatma. Jivatma, Purnatma, Paramatma. Eka Bhakti. Nitya Yukta and Eka Bhakti, they are, dears, obverse and reverse of the same coin. In whichever perspective you want to look at, the spiritual discipline which you are supposed to follow to be unique amongst all others. Nitya Yukta, you are constantly aware. And Eka Bhakti, there is no other object of love for me, my God and myself. So dear, this is why he is praising the state of Jnani sky high. Vishishate They are unique, they are excellent, they are unsurpassable. They are the top class of people, according to God's assessment. Tesham jnani nityajukta eka bhaktir vishishyate. And then he gives you an incentive. He, because of his deep abiding love for me, nityajukta and eka bhakti, devoted love for me, he is totally immersed in me. He wants nothing else but me in this world. Therefore, he is extremely dear to me. He has merged himself in me. I and he are the same. This is what the state that you will achieve. So it is both informative, educative, instructive. And as I keep on telling you there, as Swamiji used to say, study of the scriptures is not an intellectual gymnastic. That is how Swamiji decried it. Study of the scriptures is not an intellectual gymnastic. You play with words and ideas. No, it is to manifest the divinity already within you. That is the purpose of the study. And I'll be failing in my duties if I don't highlight these ideas to you. So in this one shloka, the definition of a jnani is being given, nityajukta eka bhakti. Definition is being given, that's an information. That idea slowly and slowly saturates, oh, I have no freedom of thinking of anything else but the divine. And I am saturated with my amness. Why don't I cultivate to get rid of this separateness in me? The concept of separateness. I am in him, I am with him. I live because of him, and I live because I want to serve him through his children. Nothing but him in my life. Love generates that inseparable identity with my God. This is the incentive. This will happen to you. You and your God, you are always together. And you enjoy seeing him everywhere. Jatra jatra netra pade, tatra tatra Krishna spure. Wherever and wherever your eyes fall, you see the Holy Mother, you see Guru Maharaj, you see Swamiji, you see Krishna, Rama, Devi, Shiva, whomsoever you want. But be steadfast and one goal oriented. Don't keep on jumping like a grasshopper, changing your ishta every time. No. Once in a while, stick on and victory will come to you. Hold on yet while brave heart, victory is sure to come. That is what Swami Vivekananda says in one of his poetry. So dear, this is why I want to highlight this shloka and the next shloka. The next shloka is the ultimate realization that a human being is assured in this body. You know, I'll tell you politically a similar example. When India was struggling for its freedom, Gandhiji was adamant, we must have our independence now. And the British government said, no, I swear, I will give you independence after the war is over. You now help me to win the war. Gandhiji says, I promise we will help you in this war, whatever you want us to do for you, but you declare independence. That was a tug of war. So Winston Churchill, the Prime Minister, was a polished politician. He formed a committee of 3 very important persons, headed by Sir Stafford Cripps, and he sent Cripps Commission to India to negotiate an independent settlement with Gandhi. The same thing in a different word. We assure you, you will have your independence after we win the war. Gandhiji, when asked by the press people, what is the offer? Gandhiji said, it is a post-dated check on a crashing bank. A post-dated check on a crashing bank, because we were in the thick of war and Germany was pounding England no end. It was really difficult to visualize that England will win because America has not yet joined. Post-dated check on a crashing bank. We are not sure whether the bank will survive or not, and a post-dated check on the bank. That is what your offer is. He rejected it outright. This is one example. Swami Turiyananda ji used to say, why don't you cash your check immediately now? Why wait after death? Kramamukti. I will be salvaged, I'll have liberation and salvation after I die. The Adrishtaphala will give me Kramamukti. Why not try for Jivanamukti in this life? That is the topmost achievement of an ordinary human being. Don't compare with avatars. I'll explain to you the difference between Avatara and Jiva. Both have the human body. One human body is a slave of past karmas. That is, we are the Jivas. And Avatara body, Avatara Sharira, God wills it, never forgetting who He is, what He is, why He is born, what He has to do, what impact He will leave behind, where He will be born, what He will do, when He will go, everything is known to Him. Atandra Chaitanya, His awareness never goes to sleep. That is an avatara. And what is a jiva? He gets a body, but the body is conditioned by his past karmas. In this body, which has come because of my past karmas, good, bad and indifferent, good, bad and indifferent altogether, whichever karma is balavan, whichever karma is strong, it comes to the fore. And that is what my attitude is. That's how I behave, my behavior pattern. Anyway, dear, in this sloka 19, the last one that we read, he says, Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate Vasudeva sarvamiti sa mahatma su durlabha. Here it is. Now, here we will concentrate and we'll call it a day because that is the revision. What is it? Bahunam janmanam ante. Bahu, innumerable. Janma, birth. Ante, at the end of. First quarter of the verse. Bahunam janmanam ante. After many births, and we keep on performing our duties of life with a particular attitude. The attitude is sometimes tamasic, sometimes rajasic, sometimes sattvic. We keep on moving from one bank to the other, like a swing of a pendulum. Sometimes I behave like a beast, totally possessed by my carnal desires. Sometimes I'm very generous. I feel for you and I'm prepared to sacrifice my life for you. Rajogun with predominant Sattvagun, Tamagun is behind. And Sattvic is, I mean no harm to anybody in this world. Let me be alone. I am not involved. Let me meditate on my Lord God of the universe, my Ishtadeva. I do it for a while, say of 70 years of my life or 90 years of my life, hardly 2 years in total have thought of God. But I've thought of Him, the karma is there, I've done it with my intentional involvement. Bahunam janmanante. That means each life I've done something good, I've done something indifferent, I'm something bad. I've something good philanthropic, something good spiritual. All that is accumulating. And every life I increase the volume of my sukriti, good words, good deeds. And it is filling up my personality. And in the last life of mine, when I will achieve the state of Jivana Mukti, in this body I'll be one with the divine. I will know for certain, this is not me, I am that. Experienceable, not describable. So, Bahunam Janmanam Ante means accumulation of good spiritual thoughts and activities with deep abiding involvement. You create Shubha Karma. Shubha Karma rotating around awareness of God, not philanthropy or charity. They are also good, but they are, I am a charitable person. I am a do-gooder. It's Rajasik. I am charitable. No, I am the servant of the divine and I help people. Rajasik is submerged, Sattvic has come up. So Sattva-guna is the manifestation of spiritual involvement. So, Bahunam Janmananante. That we are here today. We are acquiring good deeds. And there are millions in Sydney, hardly 120 comes. And of those 120, fewer are involved, and some of them are totally dedicated. You see the depth of involvement. For ages together, for births together, you keep on acquiring this sukriti to rotate around the awareness of presence of the divine. What are you doing? You're filling up your cup of heart with the ideas of the divine. And in the last life, what happens is, you prapadyate. Jnanavang mam prapadyate. Bahunam janmanam ante. After this whole gamut of lives, a jnani purusha, he has matured now, he has taken total shelter. And let me be a little academic, dear, because it will give you a little clarity. Sarva vritti nibritya. Prapadyate means sarva vritti nibritya. Only one vritti remains. Vritti is a mutation of your mind. What is that? Prapadyate means I know nothing. I have taken shelter under my very loving Divine Mother. I know nothing else. No vritti, no mutation comes in my mind, but a total surrender under my mother's care. May I repeat again, dears? Prapadyate means that there is only one vritti in your mind, one modulation, one mutation in your mind. What is that? It flows constantly. It drips constantly, nothing else. What is that? I have a mother. She is the mother of the universe. I love her. I take shelter under her care. No more thinking. This is the only vritti that comes up in my mind. Sarva vritti nivritta. All other thoughts and modulations disappear. Me and my mother. And that Bengali song which you keep on singing is an expression of prapadyate. That my mother is and I am. What do I care? Mother takes care of me and she looks after me. What do I care? However I may be forgetful, my mother never forgets me. Because she is an epitome of affection and love, and I belong to her, she belongs to me. Sarva vritti nivritya ekakara chitta vritti rudeti aham sharanam prapanye. I take shelter under your feet. That's it. That is why to become a jnani, it needs quite a hard work for ages together. And in the next shloka, he says, what is the achievement of a jiva? I am in this body. I have identified myself with my maker. Me and my maker are one. The separateness has disappeared. And I am in this human body. But for others to see, they see a human being behaving. And for me, I am in God, I am with God, I am interacting with God's world, and I know nothing but God. I and God have become one. And I experience as a human. Jivita eva, I am alive as a jiva, a human, but I am mukta, I am liberated, I am free, I am one with my God. This is the achievement which he tells you, descriptive. So all these four shlokas, dear, all these four shlokas, they start as information, education, instruction, description. Informative, educative, instructive, descriptive. These are the four shlokas. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mang prapadyate. A jnani purusha totally takes shelter in me, and in him there's no other vritti but dedication to me. And the result is he sees me everywhere. That me is qualified by your Ishtadev and your sadhana. You see him everywhere. Sa Mahatma, such a super excellent soul, Sudurlabha, is very, very, very rare to find amongst humans. If you are very fortunate, you get one or two of them to live with. Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. So, dears, I have for all practical purposes, revise the last 4 shlokas which I have been reading for a few days. Now, dear, let me start the 20th shloka for a while so that we know what is in for us. Remaining 10 shlokas of this chapter, 20 to 30, 11 shlokas. This chapter has 30 shlokas. Now the remaining 10 is something else. What is it? If it is so clearly understood, why don't I do so? Why do I go astray? Why don't I remember? Why? What's wrong? I understand it is so easy. Sri Krishna explains to you. Kamaisthaisthai rita jnana prapadyante anya devata tantam niyamamasthaya prakritya niyate swaya. Swaya prakritya niyate. The last comes first, paraphrase-wise. By my inclination, by my intention, by my attitude, I decide what I like to have. As of now, I decide to have a caravan. I decide to have a powerful car. Rita Jnana. That idea, sarvavritti nirunibritya, that stop all other modulations, stop other mutations, and think of God. That idea has disappeared. I am involved in worldly things. And according to our scriptures, the forces in nature which gives you, they have been deified. They are all compartmental, but the cosmic energy of the divine is the source of energy there, but it is parceled and it is within a narrow group. Because of my desire of a worldly thing, my jnana has disappeared. Rita jnana, it has been stolen away. It was there with me. My desire, which is motivated by my inclination, has stolen my jnana. Rita jnana, how? Swaya niyata. Swaya niyata prakritya. By prakriti, by nature, totally involved in the world, or Tharthi. That desire to achieve has stolen away, stealthily, my knowledge that God is, and my business of life, purpose of life is to be one with God. And I start worshipping that, please fulfill my dream, please fulfill my dream. I've forgotten what my purpose of life is, to be jnani, to be nityajukta, to be ekabhakti, and to Vasudevam Sarvamiti Samahatma. I'd like to be that, I've forgotten. This is how the 20th shloka starts. So please, this is an introduction. We'll discuss this and go forward. There's not, I would say, compared to these 4 shlokas, there's not that important as far as instructive aspect of the Gita is concerned. These 4 are the cream and essence of this. But don't be discriminative. Each shloka has its own worth. Let us move on to the others. So dear, thank you ever so much for your undivided attention. And we'll meet again next Sunday. I have a small announcement. The announcement is, dear, you have been very attentive, very kind, very appreciative. I receive much of a feedback where you keep on saying, in return to my statement once I made before, when the pandemic crisis is over and we go back to our normal life, I may stop this talk and I'll go back to my old routine. I would like to correct myself and I would like to accept my mistake. It was a mistaken attitude. I will not stop holding my class because I find people who are unable to come to Sydney, attend the Sydney lectures, they are enjoying this talk through the internet. As long as this body is active, this mind is alert, as long as the Holy Mother desires it, I will continue to serve all of you. Please pardon my mistaken statement made before. It will continue as long as my mother desires it to happen. Thank you, dears. Thank you ever so much.
Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.